Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Dragon. On our last episode, we finished prepping everything to resmoke them and fight these kobolds or goblins on our terms. Nyla the druid already gave a message that the tunnel exit is collapsed. Our attempt to resmoke them into the entrance failed, as we took 1 hour waiting to see if anything happened. Nothing does. So we figured that this isn't going to go the way we wanted. Barnes asked Gulag to help him put out the fire, but Gulag was having trouble. He peed on it, but still had trouble, as Gulag didn't drink enough water that day. With some attempts, all fires were put out and we set back into the mines. Nyla decided to leave us and head back to the town. As we set out further into the mine, taking a different path than we did before, we decided to move on the left side of the path. As we haven't been into the middle area of the mines, we passed along some nodes of platinum, but we decided to still not take those. We didn't know if the mine is technically owned by our client, and I'm not going to risk our name for these. We proceeded along the left path. We reached an area in the middle of the map. There, we saw an area kinda quiet except the little stream of tiny waterfall on the right side. Basically water moving down the path of the wall but entering a hole on the bottom right. Gula gained the urge to pee again. Barnes decided to go into the direction of the water. As he does so, he feels something under his right foot, a small patch on the ground. Immediately he pulls it back, and as he does so, a rope snaps and pulls all the way into the hole located in the water. We were, except Gulag, shocked. Gulag was laughing. Knowing that there are traps in this area, Barnes and Gulag decided to check for them. I stand back and cast guidance, empowering their senses so that they had an easier time finding these traps. In combination of their search, they were able to find a couple of soft patches, some with bubbles which indicated there are ropes in it, and above us, a spike on the ceiling. Barnes sees something shiny in the middle area of the water. To Barnes, who is a dwarf, it seemed like gold. The water measuring about 1 feet deep. Barnes relayed all the information in the room. I moved forward to Barnes and checked the so-called object in the water. I think for a moment and cast Mage Hand to try to grab it, but it won't budge. I looked up to the ceiling and used the same Mage Hand at the plank of the spike, but it won't budge. Something is holding it very sturdy in place. Gula screamed "Trap!" to see if it activates, but nothing happens. Knowing that there isn't anything significant in this room except the so-called gold in the water, I remind the team why we're here and that we're wasting time. The sooner we finish the job, the sooner we get our reward, our bonus reward, and the sooner we can find that crazy woman named Gretchen. We decided to head back to our usual path of the mine, but instead we are taking the right side of the path. The right path before entering this room. As we do so, Gulag and Barnes looked around. Gulag doesn't notice anything except that the room is smaller. But Barnes noticed that the room, beside being small, has 2 smaller patches in the ground. One with a rope not very well covered leading to the corner of the room, and the other just a soft patch as well as a plank in the middle of the room full of spike. We decided that we should throw something on it. Gulag had a couple of javelin and decided to throw it. On the first throw, the javelin hit the patch, and as it does so, a rope snaps and then pulls back. However, it spins the javelin doing a couple of front flips before it lands on the patch again. Gulag found this most entertaining and amusing, so he wanted to throw another one at the other patch. This time, the javelin stick for a second into the patch of soft ground, but it slowly sank right into it. it seems there is a hole in there. Now, by the look of it, Gulag wouldn't be able to fit, figuring that he may have a big shoulder and that wouldn't allow him to fit. Right. Barnes could fit, but it would be a tight fit. Barnes thought of going in but quickly retracted his statement as he figures it would be extremely too dangerous to go into the hole. And it seems our comrade is once forgetting the point of entering this mine. Me and Gulag and Buzz still looked at Barnes with a grin. But he repeatedly kept saying, "I don't know what you guys thinking, but I'm certainly not going in that hole." Okay. Gulag threw another javelin, this time hitting the mechanic of the ceiling and dropping the plank of spikes, snapping the javelin. There was an area where someone can climb to see anything inside. Gulag wanted to climb. In doing so, Barnes helped him, and so did Buzz, making foothold with their shield. Barnes being the smaller one and Buzz being the taller one for Gulag to step up and get up there. Gulag was extremely happy that Barnes would help another dwarf. All that was saw was more nose to be picked at. But we knew better, more me than other. We got back into position. This time we traveled ahead into the path. Gulag ahead of me, Barnes in the lead with his shield up, me in the back, and Buzz more in the back behind me. As we stepped forward, Barnes saw an arrow launch past him, hitting the wall. As he looked to see where the arrow came from, there was another arrow already trailing the one behind the one fired. This one hitting Barnes right at the shoulder. Barnes started to scream and yell a lot of dwarven profanity. Barnes looked back at Gulag saying, "Do you see this?" and continued screaming his dwarven profanity. Gulag gets angrily in front of Barnes to see and watches as two creatures started to reload their crossbows. Barnes and Gulag rushes at them. Barnes rushes at one of them, swinging his axe overhead. The creature steps back, but receives a slash cut right in his shoulder. As he tries to quickly reload the crossbow, Barnes made another attack, but the creature stepped back again, this time slicing through the armor on his chest, dealing small damage. At the same time this is going on, Gulag was rushing to the right of the creature, aiming his axe at the other creature that was reloading its crossbow. As the creature finally got its reload completed, it looked up and dodges Gulag's hit. However, Gulag looked it closer, straight into his eyes with an even more intense growl and decapitating its head on the second swing. Buzz rushes past the creature and stands ready as he tries to look into the room. I stand firm, casting Bless at a higher level, this time targeting 4 people instead of 3. My focus is now at Buzz, Gulag, and Barnes, and myself as we start to glow purple glow again. The creature that Barnes hit finished reloading and aimed his crossbow at him. It fires and it hits. As it does so, it starts running away. But Barnes catches it from behind and slashes its back all the way down to his foot. As it's falling, it turns around to hit Barnes but loses consciousness and dies. It's now Gulag's turn. Gulag moves, but Buzz tells him, "Be careful for traps," and that there are more creatures ahead inside that room. Gulag looks to the right to the decapitated head, grabs it and throws it. Rolling on the ground, the head springs a trap. The rope flings the head upward. The rope moves to the left as the door opens and moves into that door. Inside the door, an arrow flies through, hitting the head and pinning it into the wall. Gulag says, "Gulag no good in using his head, so Gulag use yours." Gulag uses his movement to move forward into the area where he can see the creatures. 2 bolts of arrow flies at him, grazing him for a small damage. Buzz moves forward and shields us from getting hit from any more of those arrows. I move forward next to Gulag to see what's going on, for I saw Gulag take 2 hits of flying arrow. I saw 2 creatures on the left with a crossbow reloading, and then I saw something that crawled my spine. a creature with the same goddamn whip. You see, in the world of D&D, creatures like these has reach, and thus they get an attack of opportunity on those who rush at him. I look at the creature and measure myself up quickly. Good. 120 feet should reach. I raise my hand and cast a guiding bolt at it. The creature was about to take a step forward at Gulag and Barnes, but tensed up for a second looking at itself as his smoke comes out of his skin. It has no idea where the hit came from, but knows that it got hit really hard from a bolt of lightning inside of a cave? It looked pretty messed up now. I smirked, as the creature had no idea that anything that attacks him now will be empower the attacker, giving him advantage on his attack. The creature I hit looks back and makes some kind of noise. Instantly, we see reinforcements come from behind, a similar pathing as it seems to avoid something around the ground in the room. The whip creature attempts to attack Buzz, but Buzz puts up his shield and reflects it right off, dealing no damage. Barnett moves around us to get close to the whip creature and make an attack. Barnett switches to his great sword and attacks the creature. As the creature winds up to hit Barnett, Barnett cut him through, severing his arm and leg cleaned off. The creature falls into the ground, dead. As this is going on, Gula rushes at the creature in rage, who shot at him with a crossbolt. As he does, he hears a click from his foot and looks down for a millisecond and back at the creature of the crossbolt. One of the trap activates and a spike hits Gulag on his shoulder for a measly damage, but pisses Gulag the hell off. Gulag rushes and winds up his axe to hit the crossbow creature. As he does, he lets out a deafening roar of pure anger and madness, making the axe look 2 to 3 times its size as it comes and connects with the creature's chest. The creature almost blacks out, not from the axe, but from the roar. As it then picks itself up, shaking the roar off and gets ready to attack, Gulag strikes him a couple of times, messing him up so bad that the creature couldn't fire his bolt. Buzz turned and he moves at the creature. His first hit almost missing, but connecting with the empower of the blessed spell. He brings his sword from below and slashes the creature up, lifting it to the air. As it comes down, you see Buzz already jumped and diving down at the creature, hitting it and plundering to the ground, completely dead. Buzz with a face of pure satisfaction as the Goliath warrior. Me, Thaw, keeping my eyes on the whip guy, I raise both my hands and make a double attack at them, using my twin spell Guiding Bolt at the whip and its close comrade. As I charge it up and let it loose, you see 2 bolts aimed straight at them, hitting them for a good amount of damage. As the smoke clears up, you see both whip creature and his comrade blow smoke from their mouth. They looked at each other and start to run far off. The whip guy moves first, but the bow creature fires an arrow at me, dealing a good amount of damage as they run away. The creature that came out of Gulag's roar takes a shot at Gulag, but it misses as it fires straight up into the air. Knowing this, it starts running away, giving Gulag an attack on opportunity. Gulag drives his axe at its back, and as it pulls it off, the creature falls to the ground dead. The other creature also attacks Gulag and misses. Being a little far away, it actually succeeds in running away. The creature next to Buzz also makes an attack at Buzz, but Buzz quickly and cleverly dodged it. As it runs away, Buzz also cuts the creature down, leaving it the number of creatures on the battlefield marginally small. However, as Buzz looks around, 3 other arrows flash at Buzz, one missing by an inch and the other one landing, damaging Buzz. The last one flies over Buzz and it lands on Gulag, damaging him for a measly damage. Barnes gets angry and grabs a javelin from his back and throws it at the creature. It hits, and the creature makes a screeching sound in pain. I smirked as I kept charging my spell. Gulak saw that Barnes injured the creature with a javelin and rushed at the same creature, splitting his head in two, and before landing on the ground, he removes its javelin, all in a split second. This time, we all smirked. Oh yeah, he is definitely one of us. Buzz also gets into the mood and rushes at another creature, this time the one who shot Gulak, and raises his sword from below again, but this time it slashes the creature. As it comes down, it stabs through the creature, plundering to the ground. Even more smirks goes around. Like if a smirk were some contagious thing after an epic turn. My turn came up, and I was ready to release the guiding bolt charging in my hand. You see, the creature that escaped had advantage on them, and they succeeded to escape from my comrades. However, they forgot that I had a long-range spell of 120 feet, and now, with advantage, the charging spell was being completed with the power of the elven accuracy, giving me super advantage against them to guarantee that these bolts would hit. I fired both twin guiding bolts, and as suspected, it hits them perfectly, turning them to a crisp. Another two down. I think the creature had enough of us, and all aimed their arrows to the air, firing all at the same time. However, I managed to dodge a couple. So did Buzz and Gulak, but Barnes took some hits. Gulak threw his javelin at one of the creature, perfectly connecting, and Buzz rushed at the creature and severed it into pieces. On my turn, I see three creatures on the left. However, almost out of my vision, I still able to see a creature standing up from the dirt of the ground. This creature being massive, having a flail and an axe 2 times bigger than Gulak's axe. I couldn't believe it. We may have to fight that. I sense Barnes having his body taken the most damage, so I rush towards him and focus Cure Wounds on my hand, healing Barnes for some damage that he has been taken, and stand ready for the huge monster to come in. The three creature on the left starts to make some sound, raising their hands at the ogre, and then signaling to our direction. After that, they take their aims at Buzz, but Buzz deflects all arrow but one, hardly damaging him. The ogre looks at our direction. He's huge. He then rushes at Gulak. The last whip creature takes a side step to move away from the ogre's way. The ogre, not trampling it, keeps moving at Gulak. As it does so, the whip creature took an attack on one of our comrades but misses. We couldn't tell as we had our eye fixated at the ogre rushing. As this is going on, the trembling from the ogre's rush springs the trap and lands on the ogre's shoulder, but the ogre didn't make a sound of pain, as if it didn't even bother him. Gulak stares him down as the ogre rushes at him. Barnes shakes out and snaps out of the ogre's thirst blood aura, and charges at the whip guys first, seeing as we needed to take out before it starts fighting with the ogre. However, Barnes steps on the trap. The trap flings spikes down at Barnes, landing on his shoulder, making him drop the axe, unable to repick his axe again. Barnes stands there in pain. Gulak rushes back at the monster, hitting him with his axe, making a great impact, damaging him, but also making the ogre make a face expression of true anger, just as Gulak was making back at him. Buzz moves up at the ogre and connects his sword with shield to make a great axe again. He stands ready as he can't quite reach the ogre yet. I look at the whip creature and the other three crossbow creature. The crossbow creature are cheering but also aiming their arrow at Buzz and Gulak, while the whip creature tries to attack Barnes, who is heavily in pain. I rush 20 feet to the right of me and cast twin guiding bolt at the whip creature and one of the crossbow creature cheering. My bolt fires off and strikes both of them. The whip creature burns to a crisp as he winds up to hit Barnes but falls right at the ground. The other cheering bastard burned to a crisp and falls as well. That should even the odds, as it was 5 versus 3 but now 3 versus 3. The creature looks at the burned crisp friend and then quickly turns their eyes at me. Those creature rushes at me but moves in a specific way as if they were avoiding something on the ground. They fire the arrows at me, one misses and the other one heavily damaging me. As they reload their crossbow, the ogre took 5 feet back and swing down his flail at Gulag, doing massive damage. He swings his axe at Gulag and does even more heavy damage. Gulag in anger, but for the first time in extreme pain. The ogre smirking, standing proud as he looks ready to strike with his flail again. Gulag, Buzz, and Barnes epically dashes at the creature, all connecting on their first hit, but the creature, even though it's bleeding, it doesn't seem to be tired or heavily damaged. On their second attack, the creature dodges both Gulag and Barnes' attack, but Buzz gets ready to connect with the creature. The creature swings his axe, connecting with Buzz's axe, making Buzz's axe drop out of his hand, landing on the floor. I rush to the right, trying to get away from the crossbow creatures, but I foolishly spring a trap. The rope wraps on my feet and drags me across the room, taking damage along the way. I thought, feeling excruciating pain, let out one spell to curse the ogre, and then laid my face straight to the floor in pain, thinking to myself, any more damage and I'm dead. The crossbow creature, not being far away from hitting me, moved forward to my comrades, launching arrows at them, luckily all of them missing. The ogre, not done yet, looked at Buzz, who hit him with his axe. He aimed his axe and flail at him, the flail connecting and damaging Buzz heavily, but as the axe comes down, Buzz managed to somehow move a little, making the axe miss, landing next to him and Gulag, the axe being the same size as the Goliath boss. Gulag, Buzz, and Barnes do their attack once more. This time, as though the ogre dodges some hits, some of the hits do hit and heavily damage the ogre. Finally, to the 3 comrades epically fighting, manage to see some damage in the ogre, and it looks like the ogre can't stand much of this. As I look up, to me, I see the monster heavily breathing, but still standing. Buzz heavily damaged, Gulag extremely damaged, and Barnes pretty damaged. Checking on myself, I know that it only takes a few hits to kill me. Right then, I started seeing images of my parents, both angels and dragon. I see the path I have taken, and then the friends I have made during the adventure. I question these images. Am I fearing death? Am I gonna die with my comrades? No! I scream, and snap! The room fills with cloud. A spell seems to be cast from my body. On the cloud, you see a written seal spell in Elven. Twin maximum guiding bolts. Thunder strikes at both creatures, the first one being disintegrated. In the second one, the ogre gets struck so hard that it starts to fall slowly backwards. As his knee reaches 90-degree angle, his body is parallel to the floor. The creature lets out a roar like no other, getting back up on his feet angrily. However, it seems anything can now kill the creature, as it only looks like it can only take one hit and it will collapse dead on the floor. The creature, who saw his comrade disintegrated, started to shake in pure fear. The creature now takes off, possibly dodging every trap, but sadly it springs one. A rope grabs it and traps it left to the wall, taking damage along the way. The ogre, now staggering a bit, swings at what it feels it's the most threatening thing on the room. He swings at Boss, full of awesome armor, and hits him heavily. He turns around and swings at Gulag, but it staggers, and the axe comes again between Buzz and Gulag. He tries and succeeds in picking the axe back up and moves 5 feet, heavily staggering. Barnes, now within range, moves forward and swings his axe. He made a small error in his trajectory of his axe because of the pain of the spike, but as it was about to miss, his axe pulls him forward into the creature, connecting. The creature falls to the ground, presumably dead, as it's not moving. Barnes makes another attack, confirming that it's 100% dead. Gulag, not satisfied because he's still in rage mode, attacks it with an axe, severing its arm. As his arm flings up into the air, Gulag grabs it in midair and plungers down at the stomach of the ogre. After the ogre was brutally overkilled, Buzz comes to my side and asks if I was okay. I looked up and see that we won the battle. I struggled a bit and was able to get off the entanglement. Now I looked at the creature in pain and see that it is in extreme fear. I smirked at him and do nothing, letting the creature suffer a little more from its own fear of the fate that will be bestowed upon it. The creature freed itself and runs towards the top left of the map. Barnes picks up a javelin and shoots it at the creature. Bingo! It hits it in its arm and the creature still kept running in fear. Barnett looks at Gulag and Gulag smirks, picking up his own javelin and throws it with a roar. As the creature looks back, it stabs it on the eye and sends it flying, impaling it into the wall, dangling in midair. Gulag and Barnes reaches for a high five, but somehow Barnes came short on connecting. This ends our epic battle. As the battle ended, I took one potion and healed myself with Cure Wounds. I go around healing with the remaining healing spells that I have left. And I also give one potion to Gulag, as his vitality is much higher than mine. We looked around and I suggested that we should go home. We can tell them about the trash, but it is not in our discretion to disarm them. We already did enough of that in the other rooms, and we should hurry so we can get the bonus for finishing this task sooner. It took some hours to return home, but we managed to finish everything in half a day. We asked the manager of the bounty, Squatch, to get us our client for our reward, Brendelish Galvin. Probably the third or the fourth. Whatever. We needed to hurry to find Jill, the husband of the Gretches, the crazy lady. This ends our section. Thank God we didn't die. Our next D&D will be next week. Who knows what our campaign Dungeon Master Dark Magic has in store for us. We almost end up dying on this one. Guess we'll find out in the next episode of Dungeons & Dragons. Hey guys, a little word here. You may have noticed sometimes an axe gets guided into the creature or empowered by Bless. These are things that are happening that allow us to hit instead of miss. Advantage allowed us to roll 2 dice and pick the higher one. Bless, my sorcery divine spell, allows us to roll a d4 on every attack and saving throw we make. You may see an epic damage or receive an epic damage, and those are a form of natural 20, which is a form of crit in Dungeons & Dragons. An example of that is the power I made in the end, where it disintegrated a creature for 42 damage in a form of 4d6 roll damage, or when the Golger hit Gulag heavily with his natural 20, critting him with his damage, which I thank God it wasn't me, or I would have been completely dead. There are a lot of things being said in the storyline, but know that everything is within the rules of Dungeons & Dragons. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.